Hey guys. So these are the comments that you'll see on Twitter, you'll see them here on YouTube, you'll see them on Facebook, Instagram, anything that criticizes forced diversity, you get considered labeled a racist. So this person, this is sad. Your dumb commentary, I mean. I said, and yet you watched it. So what's that say about you? They say, nah, I stopped when you started saying race is garbage. And of course, because it never fails, and I said, there we have it. I don't like what that you're criticizing this, so I'm just going to call you a phobe or ism. Never fails. Person, I don't like how and why you're criticizing it. It's disgusting. And then they put, okay, but I never get called a racist or sexist, so if you're constantly being called an ism, maybe that's because you're racist and sexist. Just to be clear, if a person calls you racist, that's chance. But if everyone calls you, no, I'm not being called a racist by everyone. It's people like this who think they're on a fucking high horse that they can grandstand for everyone. So I came back with this, and saying this shit doesn't make you a racist because Hollywood focusing on skin color seems kind of racist. But I said saying that Hollywood needs to stop focusing on skin color to promote their product isn't racist. Word gets thrown around whenever someone is criticizing something that has a person of color in it. But hey, if you're fine with Hollywood using minorities as tools and a selling point for their crappy products, then more power to you. No one has heard a damn thing about the actual story or characters. All interviews have been focused on talking about diversity and representation, and we kind of went through that with the video before, not the video but before. But I mean, you have people outright saying that they're fucking activists. Clearly, this is trying to fucking push something. You know, I showed the last video about all the freaking headlines about racial diversity, what it's like to be the first black character. They're focusing so much on skin color. If your product is good, even if the characters are black or minorities in some way, even if that's the case, as long as they are well written characters. But it seems that Hollywood has no pride in what they've made because they're just promoting the diversity and representation. I said, all interviews have been focused on talking about diversity and representation. That's not how you get people interested in the product. All that does is tell people that you have an agenda. But again, if you're fine with that, more power to you. But calling that shit out isn't racist. Learn the difference. And then someone was nice enough. They said they got to watch the first 2 episodes or so with their friend. See if I can find that. But here we have a female. We have Eve. Says, I agree, and I'm also against the whole strong female character shit that Hollywood has been going on. I like ones that are actually good characters, like Ripley and Sarah Connor. Exactly, they were good characters. But forcing Galadriel to be a fucking warrior because I don't need no man and women are strong and powerful, it's nothing like Tolkien, what he wrote, because she was not a warrior. She was described on having Amazon type qualities. That doesn't mean she was a fucking warrior. But characters that are actually good characters and well written, Ripley, Sarah Connor, in Kill Bill, who else? In the X-Men movies, Storm, Rogue, strong female characters. Jamie Lee Curtis in Halloween, strong female character. The list goes on. And they're good, well-written characters. That's why people love them. Like, fucking, I think there's a new Halloween movie coming out. Jamie Lee Curtis is in it. Like, she's been in, like, almost every fucking Halloween movie because she's a good, well-written character. People like her character. Ripley, Sigourney Weaver, complete badass. Like, that woman, she's like, when it comes to movies, she's the epitome of badassery. And no one has a problem with women in it We love Ripley, Sarah Connor, and all those other well-written characters. Um, but I see no problem with the typical damsel in distress either. There's nothing wrong with that. Strong females doesn't have to mean the woman is superpowered, can do anything, and we see that with Rey in Star Wars, basically where she like no real training, somehow she's mastered the Force on her own. Um, you see that nowadays where you have like the guys are always like bumbling idiots, and the girls are like, you men would be lost without us. The whole we're men, we're women, we're powerful, we're this, we're that. But dumbing down the guys isn't making the women more powerful or more important. You're just dumbing down the guys. Can do anything and is physically stronger than any guy. The Predator movie, you have this like fucking skinny 80 something pound girl able to take down the Predator, when you had fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger and his team have fucking struggled doing it. And people were like, no, they just nerfed Predator. They just nerfed him. Somehow this woman was able to find a way around all his tech because she's seen it and this and that. So you have a woman who can take down the fucking Predator when you have Arnold fucking Schwarzenegger. They're like, yeah, they just nerfed the Predator. The Predator's been nerfed. Like fucking patch notes come out. Predator's been nerfed by fucking 50%. Intellect nerfed. Then the Last Duel has a perfectly strong female character, and is still just as suppressed women. Is still just a suppressed woman during the Middle Ages. Not looking forward to what kind of super girly they make Galadriel into here. Shudder. So this is the one that they were, where they said they got to see it. So I was able to watch the first 2 episodes with a buddy of mine who had screeners, and while the first initial reactions are correct in the aspect of it being visually stunning, I've never seen anything quite this attention to detail before. The writing is absolutely abysmal. It's even more woke than what we were led to believe, which is usually how it goes. There's heavy emphasis on Galadriel. We've seen that. Every fucking trailer focuses on her. I even said that the last time. I mean, I fucking put that in one of my titles. I was like, we get it. She's amazing. She's super duper. Heavy emphasis on Galadriel not needing no man, and I can do whatever I want because I'm a woman type of thing. Usually I can give this type of thing a pass, but when it's constant, it really is an immersion breaking. Also, don't even get me started on the dwarves. The aesthetic is cool, but holy moly, the amount of virtue signaling with Disa is terrible. Now, again, visually, it looks nice. We've come so far with technology. I was watching. I actually just finished watching Return of the King last night, and even those hold up fairly well, except for one part I noticed. When the mouth of Sauron comes out, I can't remember if it was Merry or Pippin, but Gandalf is, he's sitting with Gandalf, and it's like a faraway shot, and you see, like, I think it was Merry's face, but you could tell it wasn't actually his face. You could tell it was just like CGI'd on there. Like, he's wearing a helmet, but his face is like, and it's like, it's not moving at all. It is fucking hilarious, actually. After this, I'll show you what I'm talking about. Such a great scene with the mouth of Sauron. Disa, as well as a subplot involving 2 homosexual dwarf characters, which is made for laughs but is executed terribly. The Southland and Harfoot plots are lazy and contrived. All in all, I'll watch the rest of the season once it drops. Probably won't tune in every week. That's probably best. But as far as staying true to Tolkien and the source material, you may have well just stick to PJ's films or just read the books. There's a show made for the general audience member who just wants to be entertained and wants to feel included. 5.5 out of 10. And I mean, are they going to be called racist or sexist or homophobic because they gave an honest opinion? I mean, they're saying, yeah, it's visually stunning. and I would hope so. They spent a fucking shitload of money, and all the money probably went to visuals. Because if you see the fucking costumes, uh, but it, I'm just gonna wait for the War of the Rohirrim to release in 2 years. The Rohirrim. They're actually gonna stick to the lore. War of the Rohirrim, though, what exactly is that? Is that a game? Is it a show? War of the Rohirrim. We're down. Um, cast. Okay, so it says cast announcements 2 months ago. Ooh, that'd be great. You know, Bernard Hill, playing Theoden. Um, Miranda Otto as Eowyn. I mean, they Miranda Otto is such a fucking great actress. You know, everything she plays is fucking amazing. When I was watching and I saw that she was in Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, I'm like, wow. She plays Zelda, and I'm like, this woman is fucking Zelda right here. She is so good in everything she's in. You know, same thing. Eowyn, perfect example with the females. Eowyn, strong fucking character. She doesn't let anyone stop her from going to war, fighting with the men. You know, she's the one who fucking takes down the Witch King of Angmar. She is basically told by Theoden as he's dying that she's in charge now. So she's pretty much ruling over Rohan, and strong female character, and people love her because she's well written. She's a female. People love her. Galadriel in the trilogy, amazing character. I mean, I was like I said, I just finished watching Return of the King. So over the course of like 3 days, each day I'd, you know, and the scene where they first get to the forest and they're introduced to Galadriel, chills because it's the presence that she has. She comes out and you can just see she like glows. She's radiant and elegant and beautiful, but she's powerful, and you know she's powerful. You see everyone waiting on her. You see everyone bowing in respect because you know how important this woman is. You know how powerful, especially in The Hobbit. They show how powerful she is. Strong female character, and she doesn't have to be in the forefront to show how amazing she is. You know, she can be threatening. You know, the scene where she, you know, not really threatening, but kind of makes you feel uneasy, intimidated. The scene where Frodo, where she asks Frodo to look into the mirror, and he sees like the scouring of the Shire and stuff like that. Um, but the way she talks, there's just she commands respect. You know, she's beauty and elegance, and just like I said, she commands respect because she's and people love her because she's a well-written character. But apparently, if you criticize the new Guy Ladriel, you get called a fucking sexist. Okay, so here's the scene with the mouth of Sauron. So you have Pippin right here, and you can tell that it's clearly not him. So basically, in things like this, uh, they were actually just smaller people, and then normally they could just their face onto them, or like the final scene in Return of the King, where we're not final scene, but when they're all at Minas Tirith and they're all at the top and they're all bowing to Frodo and the gang, um, you can kind of tell that they're not really there. It looks like everyone else is kind of bowing and they're just kind of placed in. I don't know if they were recorded first and then everyone else was recorded, or you can tell that you can look at this clearly something wrong. They clearly don't look like they're actually there, or that they're, you know, go back and watch it. You'll see what I'm talking about. But this, you can tell like the color. If you look it down here at his foot, and you see then you see his face. It's like the color is all wrong, and it's just because you have the little the I think it's just like a smaller person or a kid or whatever it was, and then they'll, you know, with the face. Um, But as you can see, it just doesn't look right. Even back then, I watched this a while ago. I'm like, wait a minute, something does. One of these things is not like the other. So, but yeah, you can clearly tell that it's not actually him. Um, and there are numerous times, even when they don't show the face, you can tell that are, the way they filmed with it, because the hobbits are super small, but like Elijah Wood and Sean Astin, they're not actually hobbit sized, they're full sized. So the way they had to shoot things was just complicated. But you can clearly tell that it's not actually him, that it's just his face stuck on there. It's just fucking hilarious. Like, if you look, we got Aemir back there, we have Aragorn, we have Gandalf, we have Legolas, we got Gimli back there. And you can tell they're all actually there. Their faces look like what they should for that setting. But then you see Pippin. But I mean, apart from the small little things, the effects hold up really well considering this came out 2003. But so stupid. He's like, but yeah, Rohirrim. That would be cool. Rohan is a really cool place. Lord, the land of horses and stuff like that. And I loved Bernard Hill as Theoden. And for people who know, Bernard Hill also plays did the voice of oh god, uh Tyrion in World of Warcraft. And yeah, you could, just a great actor. He also was, I mean, he's been in plenty of things, but things that you've seen him in. I mean, if you saw Titanic, he was the captain of the Titanic in the movie, and just a great actor. But yeah, if it stars Bernard Hill and Miranda Otto, and it's kind of set during the time of Theoden, you have Aemir and Eowyn, and all that'd be amazing. And I've said before, I would love to see. I don't know why they started with the Second Age. They should have gone back. You have the Silmarillion, which is basically, talks about the creation. Eru Ilúvatar. I would have loved to see him on screen, or them really. From Eru Ilúvatar came the Valar, who they're basically charged with making things. The Maiar were basically their servants, or their help. Sauron was a Valar. And then you had so many fucking events between the creation and the end of the first age. So much shit happens. There's chaos, there's this, there's that, there's trees that, get destroyed, and it was just amazing. You had Morgoth, and then during the Second Age, that's kind of like when Sauron kind of started, his rise. But I would love to see that, but they had to start with the Second Age for whatever reason. But again, female characters and stuff like that. No. Actually, there was another one. Let's see, okay, yeah, here's another. I've heard nothing from these people about the storyline. All I've heard is inclusiveness. Pretty much tells me acting and plot is going to be predictable crap. Nothing about great writing has been mentioned once. Just that they've checked all the woke boxes. Because the person just said, "Oh no, that's all you guys." No. The person said they watched the video. You would see all the headlines that talk about so and so, the first black character in Tolkien universe, or the first female this, or the first black female that. It's not us talking about the inclusiveness and the skin color. It's the media. It's the fucking idiots on Twitter and the fucking person commenting like, "Oh my god, diversity! Oh my god, this is gonna be so amazing! I can't wait to see myself on screen!" Despite the fact that Lord of the Rings has been translated into every fucking language possible, and some of those people do not look like the characters in the fucking books. And yet, do they complain about, oh, I can't read this? It doesn't. They don't look like me. I can't read this shit. They're all fucking white people. Fuck this book. No, they read it because it's a good fucking story. So it just shows, it's just, that's all they go to is you're racist, you're sexist, you're phobic, you're this, you're that. Here's the thing, the interviews aren't about diversity. Your commentaries are. How many times have I, let's see, the last video we showed articles talking about how, oh, first black, first elf of color, first black dwarf, first this. And then we heard interviews with people outright saying we're activists, representation, diversity. So no, it is not us, you fucking mook. It's these fucking people in Hollywood pushing this stuff. And then when things fail, I don't understand why they didn't like our product. Well, maybe because it was a shit product and you didn't promote it properly. Instead, you want to talk about diversity and inclusion and representation instead of talking about the characters, the story, why we should care about the freaking product. It's like I said before with Peter Jackson in the last video. Peter Jackson loved the fact that he got to film in New Zealand. New Zealand is a beautiful place, and he was happy that he got to film in New Zealand for pretty much the entire movie. And he went to talk about it. He went out of his way to say, yeah, I'm not putting my agenda in there. I want it as close to Tolkien as possible. He did promotions for it. He wasn't sitting there, oh yeah, we have strong, powerful women, Galadriel, a strong woman who doesn't need no man. No. He talked about the product. He talked about his movies. He talked about the characters. He talked about that they were filming in New Zealand and how amazingly gorgeous it was. And you can see that because there's a lot of zoom out shots in that fucking movie, especially when they're out in the open. A lot of zoom out shots, and you get to see how amazing that landscape in that country really is. New Zealand, completely gorgeous. If I have people from New Zealand who watch me, you guys, it's beautiful there. You have such a diverse type of landscape. You have snow-capped mountains, open fields, all right next to each other too, it seems. But there was a lot of zoom out shots because he was just so happy about New Zealand and how beautiful it was and getting to shoot there. And like, if you're gonna shoot something that beautiful, might as well appreciate it in the movie as well. So when you see them running, they starts real close and sometimes they'll zoom out. There's a lot of zoom in shots, panning around or something like that, because they want you to experience that world. So Peter Jackson promoted his product the right way. Talking about the interviews aren't about diversity. No, they may not be about diversity, but that's all that really seems to come up is diversity, inclusion, representation. I'm the first black dwarf, the first female dwarf on screen. So yeah, they may not be outright flat out about diversity, but that's what they become about. That's essentially the direction they go. So, and that's not our commentaries doing that. We're the ones calling it out. But again, just another fucking person. I didn't like what you said, so you're a racist. Never fails. But if what the person says is true, with the person who said they got to see it early, it just confirms everything we pretty much knew. I don't think anyone, people say it looked like a video game, like a really good looking video game, which sometimes there's nothing wrong with that. But we've been saying there's too much attention to Galadriel, and that this is the second age. It's not the age of Galadriel. Whereas people are saying Guy Ladriel, because, they had to make her very mannish. Like, oh, I'm a warrior now. So, considering they have like the first female dwarf, I would imagine there's a lot of stuff about her. The Southland and Harfoot plots are lazy and contrived. pretty much what we'd expect. So when this thing fails, we're just gonna get called phobes, ists, and isms because we called this shit out, said, hey, stop promoting your shit like this. We have no problem with colored characters, people of color playing those. It doesn't matter as long as they're well written. But people who have seen it, actually, hang on, I think I saw something on Twitter. I'll pull that up real fast, so hang on. All right, so this is UK Showbiz. Christopher Stevens reviews The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power. No turkey, however bloated and stupid, could ever be big enough to convey the mesmerizing awfulness of Amazon's billion-dollar Tolkien epic. And this was tweeted out by Nerdrotic. Same thing. He calls this shit out. He gets called a racist. But he's like, uh-oh. I really hope when this show utterly fails that this will be the final nail in the woke entertainment coffin. No, it won't. Yeah, of course there's going to be raving because those people are the ones who get to go see it for free. So of course they're going to be like, "Oh my god, it's amazing." But people are just tired of the bullshit. Like, we get it. Galadriel, amazing. She's super duper. She don't need no man. For fuck's sake. But anyways, yeah, I just wanted to show you guys that because it never fails. You criticize something and then you get called a fucking phobisterism because they don't have any real comeback. And apparently they're perfectly fine with people using diversity and representation as a selling point. So again, to that person and anyone else, if that's your deal, if that's what you enjoy, more power to you. If you have no problem with people using women or minorities or LGBTQ community as a selling point to push their fucking product, more power to you. You're part of the fucking problem. So but what do I know? Anyway, that's gonna do it for me. You guys know the drill. I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.